Good morning. Happy Tuesday, April 5th. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And thank you so much for tuning in to Andrea Speaks TV. I'm your host, Andrea, and I'm bringing you commentary you can use. So, again, good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to say thank you to everyone who is a subscriber. Thank you all. Hey, hey, hey. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you all so much for your support. Please make sure that you share this video with your family members or friends. Also, if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel, join our community so that you can stay informed and connected whenever I do upload new content. So this morning, I'm going to be doing a couple of videos this morning, but the first one I wanted to talk about a recent survey. This actually came out in a news article from CNBC. And the title of the article you can see on the screen, it says that 81% of US adults are worried about a recession hitting this year. So I want to talk about it. So before we do that, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and join our community. Okay, y'all. So let me go ahead and get into it. I would like to know your thoughts about this information. So make sure that you leave me a comment. Let me know, do you agree or disagree about the thought of a recession happening in the US in 2022? All right, y'all. So let me go ahead and share some information with you. Again, this information does come from CNBC. All right. So the article says after 2 years of the pandemic, a recession, and a rapid recovery, Americans are worried that the economy may swiftly decline once again. Now, according to the article, some 81% of adults said they think the U.S. economy is likely to experience a recession in 2022. Now, that is according to the CNBC plus Acorn's Invest in You survey, which was conducted by Momentive. Okay, and I actually have the survey results on the screen. It says the online survey of nearly 4,000 adults, so 4,000 adults were sampled, okay, and it was conducted from March the 23rd to March the 24th, okay, of this year. All right, now, certain groups, the article says, are anticipating a potential economic downturn more than others, the survey found, okay, so let's look at the survey results. So it looks like they surveyed Republicans, Democrats. These are the groups that were surveyed. We have Republicans, Democrats, independents. There's a category, those under more financial stress. Another category, those under less financial stress. And then lastly, those with no change in financial stress. Okay. And then, of course, the percentage is 0 to 100%. Okay. All right. So again, the article says certain groups are anticipating a potential economic downturn more than others. The survey found that includes Republicans, who are more likely to think there will be a recession than Democrats. All right. According to the information, 91% of Republicans surveyed felt are worried about a recession. Democrats, 73%. As well as those who see themselves as financially worse off this year than they were last year. Okay. Independents, 81%. Those under more financial stress, 88%. Those under less financial stress, 73%. And those with no changes in financial stress, 75%. Okay. Now let's talk about what a recession actually means. Now, before I move on, I do want to say that I'm not sure how they categorize people, or what groups of people are considered those under more financial stress, less financial stress, or no change in financial stress. I don't know if that could be a mixture of Republicans, Democrats, or independents, or who exactly is considered in those categories. But how do you feel about the survey results? Okay. Someone commented, let's be honest, we're in a financial depression. A lot is going on. We've talked about it right here on the channel, here on Andrea Speaks TV. We've talked about the fact that, the cost of, food is increasing. We've touched on inflation. We've talked about rising gas prices, food shortages, water shortages, all kind of things are happening. And when you take that along with what we see happening, reports of what's happening in Russia and Ukraine and how so many restrictions are being put in place, Companies our countries are not able to import minerals and natural resources and even food products from Russia. I'm looking at it as if, okay, is this, are things being set up to create a global recession? I have that question, but let me continue on with the presentation. Thank you all so much for your input and your insight. Leave me a comment. I do want you to comment and let me know your thoughts on this information. Okay. All right, let's continue. So what is a recession? All right, let's talk about a recession. The National Bureau of Economic Research, okay, that's according to the article. The National Bureau of Economic Research defines a recession as a significant, and I quote, significant decline in economic activity that is spread across the economy and lasts more than a few months. Okay. The article continues by saying the last recorded recession took place in 2020 when the pandemic spurred mass shutdowns and layoffs across the U.S. Since, however, the U.S. economy has seen a stunning recovery. Okay, this is according to the article. The labor market has added back millions of jobs and is nearing its pre-pandemic state. In addition, the article says wages have gone up for many workers, including those in lower paying jobs. Do you agree with that information? Okay. Someone shared in the comments, a lot of businesses who were forced to close during the lockdowns are closed permanently that aren't coming back. I do agree. A lot of times when they report this information saying, hey, the economy is bouncing back, we have so many millions of jobs that are added and businesses are thriving. Well, we know, even looking at our own local communities, we know that that's not always necessarily the case. So I do agree with your comment that many businesses who were forced to close during the lockdown simply they weren't able to sustain, and therefore they had to close permanently. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, we could even talk about a global recession. Okay. So this is some information that I found about a global recession. Okay. What are some components, or what does a global recession look like? Again, you have an economic slowdown. It even says falling oil consumption. Okay. Think about what's going on right now with Russia being a major exporter of oil. Okay. A lot of countries are pulling back from Russia, saying, hey, because of what's going on, we're not going to get oil. So again, with everything that's happening with the Russia-Ukraine situation, is what's going on there, is it setting it up? Is it setting the stage for a global recession? Okay. All right. Also, components, or what does a global recession look like? What are some components of a global recession? Weakening industrial production, rising unemployment, slowdown in GDP, gross domestic product, per capita growth, or contraction. Okay, it says a global recession is a sustained economic downturn that affects several countries across the world. Okay, someone shared they disagree with the article and said we also have to consider that there will be several food shortages because of drought. Yes, I definitely agree with that. And I'm actually gonna I do have a video coming up soon that I'm going to be doing a live where I'm going to be discussing the fact that President Biden, who recently met with world leaders, he actually, for the first time that I have heard him say, he actually acknowledged the fact that food shortages are coming and that it is a real situation. But we know, those of us who are, in the community, here on Andrea Speaks TV, we know that food shortages is something that we've been talking about for quite some time now. Okay. Thank you so much for your thoughts. All right. You all let me know how you feel about this information in the chat. Okay. Now, okay, we talked about the last recorded recession took place in 2020 when the pandemic spurred mass shutdowns and layoffs across the U.S. That was just 2 years ago, right? 2020 was just 2 years ago. And, even if, even those businesses who were able to bounce back, and be back in business, or people who were laid off and, they were able to return to their jobs, or maybe they were able to, do something else, it still takes time to recover from you know, we can say when businesses shut down, when people were laid off, those were life altering events. So even if, those people were able to get back into their jobs, and return to some sense of normalcy, it still takes time for them to adjust. Okay. Would you agree or disagree? So, what I'm saying is, even though these events took place 2 years ago, and sometimes the news want to makes it seem like, oh, things are just so great, and the economy is back on the rise. We know in actuality, it still takes time to get back to how things used to be, or to try to get better. Okay. All right. According to the article, it says since, however, the U.S. economy has seen a stunning recovery. Okay, I talked about this. The labor market has added back millions of jobs and is nearing its pre-pandemic state. In addition, it says wages have gone up for many workers, including those in lower paying jobs. Okay, and we have one subscriber right here who is actually tuning in, who shared an article. Now, it's ironic that this article mentions that, let me go back to where it said, okay, in addition, wages have gone up for many workers, including those in lower paying jobs. Well, we have one subscriber, one viewer who's watching now, who shared an article with me that actually contradicts what I just read. So, based on the information that was shared with me, grocery workers in Los Angeles are preparing to go on strike, and they are actually, they have a union there, and they are not satisfied with their wages. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a separate video talking about that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you will be notified when I do go live. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that information. It's definitely something that we need to pay attention to. Okay. All right. Now, the article goes on by saying, because of this, many economists aren't too concerned that a recession is on the horizon. Okay, so they're saying that because the U.S. economy has seen a stunning recovery, according to the article, okay, and experts, they're saying the labor market has added back millions of jobs, even nearing the pre-pandemic state. And they're saying, in addition, wages have gone up for many workers, including those in lower paying jobs. And for this reason, according to the article, economists are saying that they are not too concerned that a recession is on the way. Okay. Here's a quote by Nick Bunker, who is an economic research director for North America at the Indeed Hiring Lab. He was quoted saying, if you look at the labor market data right now, you'd be hard pressed to find any indication of a recession. Okay. Maybe a relative slowdown, but that's not really hot to just hot. Okay. But that's from really hot to just hot. Okay. Let's talk about risk on the horizon. Even though the labor recovery is still going strong, there are other forces impacting consumers. Inflation, the article mentions, for example, has hit many Americans hard and could hinder the economic recovery. In February, the article says the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, surged 7.9% on the year, the highest since January 1982. Okay. It also says that prices have gone up in many categories, such as housing, food, and energy. And we've seen that, right? Okay. Inflation, it says, here's a quote. Someone said, inflation is the boogeyman when it comes to recoveries. That was said by Robert Frick, who is a corporate economist at the Navy Federal Credit Union. Okay. That's because if prices continue to climb as they've been projected to, people may begin to pull back on spending, which could lead businesses to halt hiring. Okay. The Federal Reserve is also poised to continue to raise interest rates, which will slow down the economy to curb inflation. And we've seen that recently happen as the Fed recently raised rates. Okay. All right. Let's see. The central bank, it says, must be careful to cool the economy enough to bring prices back down without tipping the U.S. into another recession. We talked about how the effects of what's going on in Ukraine contributes to that. Let's see. Okay. What to do now? The article concludes by saying, while it may be too early for Americans to prepare for a recession, they could take steps now to better their financial situation regardless. Okay. That includes boosting emergency and retirement savings, as well as trimming budgets to keep spending down amid inflation that's likely to continue. Okay, here's another quote by Frick that says it pays to Take a step back and look at the positives and weigh the negatives against historical evidence. If you do that with the odds of recession, they're still relatively low, but risks are high and uncertainty is high. Okay. All right. I'm going to read a few comments and then we'll conclude this episode. In my particular area, I told you all I'm located in the Southeast. We're supposed to have storms rolling in, and I'm starting to hear it thunder in the distance. And it's actually starting to rain, so I'm going to be ending the live soon. But I do want to read some of the comments that have been made. Someone shared, I think businesses are reluctant to expand because economically things are too unstable and they don't want to overextend themselves, and banks aren't lending like they used to. I do agree. And, as a matter of fact, I think that speaking of businesses, I'm seeing more and more reports that businesses are turning to robots, using robots to help with labor and things like that. Labor, transportation, things of that nature. Businesses are turning to robots to save on costs. Okay. They also attribute that to a shortage in the labor market. And so I'm going to be talking about that as well and giving you all an update. Okay. Another comment says, this morning I saw that the grocery store workers have reached a tentative agreement with the store owners. It looks like a strike has been averted. I emailed the news clips to you already. Okay, definitely. I will check that out. And thank you so much for your support. All right, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and end this episode because I do hear the rain and the storms coming in. So I want to say thank you all so much again for your support. I appreciate each and every one of you all. Stay tuned. I will be uploading new content. I have several videos that I uploaded yesterday talking about different topics, information that I felt like would be beneficial for you and your family. So please make sure that you check out the videos that I uploaded recently and many of the other videos that are there. Someone said, thank you, Andrea. Glad I caught you live. Yes. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Yes. Thank you all so much. Take care. Also, if you are not following me on Instagram, make sure you follow me on Instagram at Andrea Speaks CV. Again, you can follow me on Instagram at Andrea Speaks CV. And thank you all so much again for your support. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking time out to watch my video. So leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And again, you all take care. Oh, it's lightning, so I definitely got to go, y'all. Take care and stay tuned for more episodes of Andrea Speaks CV.